Hello,
Hello, teacher.
how are you, Melody?
I'm great, but I must say I'm a bit excited.
I see. So let's get started. So, shall we?
Yes.
I would like to hear about your learning journey in ISA. Firstly, I'm curious to know how did you get to our school?
Well, to be honest, it hadn't really been my choice. It was all my parents because to get started, the girl I used to be before is completely different from who I'm studying as now because I've been a girl who was obsessed with how she looks and how she appears to others. And my whole world revolved around appearances and wanting to please other people with none other than my looks, seeking validation through shallow things, and you know that. Well, though I couldn't really blame myself because, to be honest, I was stuck in this comfort zone where students who were pretty or who had privileges seemed to be favored more than normal students like us. So I really envied them, and slowly, without realizing it, our mind adapted to it, and I became one of those plastic versions of myself. Though I didn't really lack intelligence, far from it. I was outstanding in my own way, but I started to believe that looks mattered more than my ability, and my parents, who were disappointed and heartbroken, they decided to pull me out of that environment. Well, at first, as a little girl that I was really devastated because, I pleaded them with every fiber of my being not to send me to this school, to a place where I thought was an overly dull and, strict school. But that clearly didn't work, so here I am now.
Okay, so how did you feel when you first saw our school and took the placement test? Did you find it challenging on the placement test?
Totally, I really did.
Okay.
Because that had been more of a stroke to my ego rather than a challenge. Because in my previous schools and environments, I was, as I said before, outstanding in my own field. I didn't really have to try to get to the top, and I didn't try at that time. So I thought that I would complete this test with ease. I would easily get the level I want and just complete this year and then move back to my old school afterwards. But when I first came here, the only thing that surprised me was that I got a 26 out of 50 in my favorite subject, mathematics, and I was really surprised and disappointed because the illusion I had built around me had crushed down, and I was really frustrated that I even began questioning my own capabilities. I was really angry with myself, with my parents, and with this new bombshell unveiling upon me.
That's nothing touch. Okay, so how about your first day at school? Do you still remember what it was like?
Yes, I remember it vividly. Because as I walked into the classroom, the only thought I had was that I didn't really fit in here. It was like I was a wrong piece of jigsaw in a complete puzzle, and I thought that my classmates were neat, they were serious, they were organized, and they were completely different from who I was. And just like that, I just assumed that they wouldn't understand my struggles, and then I shut them away. So, as you may know, for these first few weeks, I had been quarreling a lot with my classmates, and I fought with my own inner battles not because I missed what I had, but because I didn't really know who I was becoming, and this environment was far different from what I was normally accustomed to. So it was a really tough time.
Wow. So, I'm interested, how did you manage to adapt to this new environment?
Well, gradually, I mean not even within a month or two, but slowly and persistently I tried to let go of the image that I was clinging onto, and I started to focus on my studies. Not to prove to anyone anything, but to prove to myself that I was more than what I looked like. That I was a girl who had her own hobbies, her own capabilities, and etc.
I'm truly impressed. So, what motivated you to shift your perspective and mindset?
Well, to be honest, I just rewired my own mind, I rewired my own brain into doing this, doing that, and into adapting in this whole new environment. But there was a company to it, since I was the oldest daughter in my family, and my parents, they were both doctors, so they were really busy. They hadn't been there a lot. They couldn't really guide me on my studies and etc. because they were busy working in order to provide me and my sister with what I need. So that truly ignited a spark in me, seeing them work so hard, and I wanted to repay them, not by my looks or not by finding money for them, not by working for them, but by showing them a perfectly written essay or a full scored paper, and I just wanted to make them smile.
Oh, that's really touching. So, how do you see yourself now? Do you believe you've grown or improved?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I immensely improved, not only in my academics but also socially, because those classmates, my new classmates whom I once thought were neat freaks, they turned out to be my people because, well, ironic really, but we bonded over exams, tests, jokes, harmless criticism, and of course homeworks. And they helped me realize that life wasn't about popularity or standards, but they were about the effort that you put into to become someone that you're proud of. And I'm proud of who I've become, and I'm really grateful to every peer and every teacher who accompanied me along the way.
Oh, I'm very pleased to hear that. Now, regarding to the global exam, do you prepare? If yes, what steps have you taken to get ready?
Yes, of course, I'm prepared because the global exam is mere days away, and to be honest, I'm a bit excited. No, really excited. Because these days I had been studying a lot, I had been reviewing all my textbooks, my notes, etc. And not just by cramming every lesson in 3 days before the exam. Because, studying for this global exam had been both challenging and exciting for me because there were times where I didn't really want to study. There were times where I wanted to give up and just went to bed, but I didn't. I reviewed all of my lessons one by one for each skills like reading, listening, writing, and speaking, and I made a clear study plan, including what I had to go into, including the notes that I had written at school, and my discussions with my teachers and my friends. I discussed with my parents, and I even asked my grandparents what should I do to get good grades.
It's wonderful to hear that. As our enjoyable conversation comes to close, so what advice would you like to share with the junior students?
Nothing much because, I'm not that much of a prophet myself, but I would like to say that to the upcoming Year 6 students and our significant others, I would like to say, don't build walls around your heart. Just try to let people in. Don't just assume that no one would understand you. Because when you finally open up and when you finally get in touch with other people, you'll realize how much are actually struggling with their own and how many people are willing to stand by your side. Because Year 6 is a special level. It is a turning point where you can go on trips, where you can just hang out freely, and where you'll find a group of people whom you can call family.
Amazing. So how about the teachers and the audience? Do you want to share something?
To the teacher, I must say that words can't express how much gratitude I have for you and how much surprise and amazement I have when you had faith in me before I even knew that I had it within myself. Well, as for the audience, I would like to say, if you've come this far, you may have realized that I have come on a long journey, but I still managed to do it anyways because I stayed consistent and worked hard. So, if I can, then why can't you? Because remember, success doesn't come from just a source of motivation, but it comes from consistently working hard to achieve your goals.
Okay, our wonderful student Melody. So I'm truly admire your mindset and the way you express yourself. I wish you the very best of luck on the rest of your journey, and then thank you so much.